So good morning, everyone. We'll continue with unit number 6, self-development and self-assessment. So there are a few other action words or verbs that we need to learn, 5 of them today. The first verb we have is read. Uh, Remember, reading does not mean just gaining expertise into a subject. Reading is always there to update you with the current scenario and current affairs that are happening. Reading does not confine one to just one's area of expertise. It is actually meant to expand your area. It helps you develop in various ways. So, what happens due to reading? What kind of development happens? Please mark this is important. From the exam point of view, development that happens due to reading. So, first thing is reading makes a person smarter.
Screen is
So, how
not
does it
visible.
make somebody smarter? It actually gives you an insight into things. It makes you better equipped and helps you acquire more knowledge. Let's say, sometimes we have this eureka moment where we look at a problem and we'll say, I read about it. All right. So it makes you smarter. You can relate to what you read about once, and then you can relate it to your own problem and you can solve it better. All right.
Ma'am, your screen is not visible.
Next, it helps you expand your vocabulary. Any language learning enhances when your vocabulary is good.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Any language learning enhances when your vocabulary
Your screen is not visible, ma'am.
screen is not visible. Just a minute. I hope it is visible now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
This is what I have dealt with, that reading not only to gain experience and expertise in only your subject, but to expand your perception about things. And this is where I asked you to mark the question important from the exam point of view. It's an important question from the exam point of view. So second is expanding vocabulary. So the more you read, the more you get to know about new words. All right. By reading on a regular basis, you become well articulated and well spoken. And with vocabulary added to your already existing group of words, will make you more rich in terms of language skills. Next, it also improves your writing skills. Reading has a positive effect on writing skills. Remember, in communication skills, there are 4 basic skills that you learn: LSRW: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. All right. Now, it's a very basic nature for any language. Okay, I'm not saying just English, but you take up any language. We begin with listening, then we move on to speaking, then we read, and then we write. Right? Even your mother tongue, you would have learned in the same manner. These 4 skills cannot exist in isolation. You cannot just be listening, you cannot just be reading, you cannot just be speaking, you cannot just be writing. These 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Otherwise, you can also call it as LSRW. These 4 skills of communicating in any language, they happen with regard to each other. There is always a connection between the four, right? That is why when you read more, you will also have a good and positive effect on your writing skills. It will be influenced by the way other people write. Oh, this author writes in this way, such surprising and twisting things he says. Why can't I? Or look at the way the answer is written. Even I'll give you a very simple example. You would have gone through the answer sheets of your friends and you would, mark. Usually we don't speak such things aloud, but you would always mark that, my friend writes this way and that is why he or she gets good marks. My friend writes this way, that is why he or she gets good marks. No, you'll notice a particularity for that thing. All right. So that noticing while you are reading will also reflect when you write. So let me try and improve. I don't want to copy her style, but let me have my innovative way of doing it, is what we would think about. It reduces your stress level. Remember, for reading, what people say, you can travel without traveling. When you read books, it helps you to travel without actually traveling. Moreover, we always have heard that an empty mind is a devil's workshop. It will, you will start thinking about different things that can stress you out, that can, create a kind of a wrong or a negative feeling in your mind. Whereas when you read, you are more engaged into things. When you read, you are more engaged into stuff. So when you are engaged, the mind does not think about things which are irrelevant. The mind actually works in a direction of thinking what the author said, what was happening in the book. So with these things, if the mind is engaged and you can travel and see different places with the help of a book, what so happens is it will keep you away from thinking useless things. And with that, it will help you reduce your stress levels. Next, enhancing analytical skills. As I said, when you are reading, you will also look at how people are writing. And you will also have an idea about how somebody writes. You will not only just read, you will also analyze subconsciously. All right, you don't want to analyze things. I know, I understand people don't want to do it. You don't do it deliberately, but you will do it unconsciously. Right? Along with reading, you will notice, oh, look at the words he uses, or look at the way he tells the story, narrates the story, or look at the way he has described or she has described the character. All right. So subconsciously, along with reading, you are also analyzing. Now, actually, that is going to help you a lot. How is it going to help you? It is going to help you to put on your thinking cap. What will come next? What will come next is what you will be thinking. Interesting. It did not go as I thought. Remember, we all have had these thoughts in our mind when we were reading a few books. So I did not know that the hero will die. I did not know there would be a new character jumping in. Moreover, then when you analyze such stuff, you unconsciously and, or let's say subconsciously, you put into your mind the details as well. Oh, now I get it why he spoke in this way, or now I get it why this character was there. Right? So you do it in a little detail subconsciously. You're not conscious about things, but you work on it. So these are the developments that happen due to reading. What are the tips for reading? These are some of the general tips. You may have more as well. This also you may mark important from the exam point of view. So a few tips to become a better reader would be: first, you should commit to the work you do, whether it is reading, writing, or studying. You should commit to become a reader. You should take a commitment of doing things regularly. Remember, just reading for one day can never make you a better reader. Today I want to read, after a few months I again want to read. That can never make you a better reader. Consistency is the key over here. So you need to be consistent, which means you need to read on a regular basis. Next, one should always approach the reading material with a free mind. Instead of taking somebody's opinion and saying, okay, this person has this opinion, or the book review, if you read the book and then you want to read the book, right? We have done a book review. It happens on professional basis as well. All right. So you read a review and then you say, okay, I don't want to read the book. The review is not good. So remember, everybody has his or her own impressions about a book. Everybody has his or her own impressions about a book. Remember, the way a book touched one person, it cannot be the same for the other person. So do not 100% rely on the review. Suggestion would be, why don't you go through it, taking an open-minded approach towards the book. Always remember, when you sit to read, your mind should not be wandering here and there, and you should not be thinking about any other stuff. So empty your mind of other thoughts and focus on reading. Next, one of the other methods that people have been using is underlining words that you are unable to understand. Underlining words that you are unable to understand, not only stopping there, just underlining, but also moving up, going one step further, looking the word into dictionary, and again another step further would be not only looking to the meaning in the dictionary, but also using the word, or making the word a part of your vocabulary, is what is expected if you wish to be a better reader. Next, as I said, you need to write and review the new words that you have learned. Try and increase your comprehension skills by reading more and more. Remember, at any age or any time, getting help should not be a problem. You should not be ashamed of getting help. You should always ask for help when you require it. When you think that this is a text which I cannot read, you should never think about, or you should never hesitate when asking for help. And as I said, it's a matter of consistency. The more you read, the better you become. The more you read, the better you will become. So engaging reading materials grab the reader's attention and help to reduce the stress level. Is the statement true or false? Is the statement true or false? Excellent. Quick and correct answers. The statement is true. The next word we have is learn. Learning is essential to human existence because without learning, you become stagnant. And continued learning nourishes the mind. Continuous learning is actually one of the necessary parts of acquiring the critical thinking skills. If you stop learning, life comes to a stand. One of the most effective ways of dealing with change, remember we had in the first unit, how do you deal with change? You deal with change with the attitude of continuous learning. You have to remain a learner to accept changes. Is lifelong learning. What is continuous learning? Continuous learning is actually self-motivated assistant in acquiring knowledge. You are self-motivated. You have the desire to learn. Nobody pushes you that you learn this, you learn that. You have the desire. Let's say some of you during this time of pandemic, initially we were scared, but then we started accepting things in life. So some of you might have learned cooking, and your parents would be like, "I never thought I would live to see this day." You standing in the kitchen and you are cooking. Some of you might have learned some other art like drawing, painting, crafting. Some of you might have learned something in your own field, created a website, created a mobile application, something you had done, right? Did somebody tell you you do this? Did somebody tell you want to experiment in the kitchen? It is open for you because now you cannot go anywhere. No, it came from within. Continuous learning should always come from within. It is actually a self-motivated assistance that you do. It is actually an essential part of personal as well as professional development. And as I said, if you stop learning, things become stagnant. So continuous learning is a helpful way of avoiding stagnation and trying to develop your full potential. See, until and unless we are put into a situation, we always believe that we cannot do it. Let's say, never had I or you thought that we would be taking continuous 1 hour or 2 hour lecture and lab sessions on the laptop. How can we teach on the laptop? How can a lab session happen in a laptop? The student has to be there. But now we are in a situation where we are doing it, and we are doing it in a very smooth way, where teacher has never to ask that why have you not joined, people coming on time. Did I ever ask you to be punctual? No. Did any of your teachers ask you to be punctual? No. But you were motivated to come on your own. Similarly, you had the urge to learn something new, or maybe learn something which has been there but in a new way for every subject that you have taken, right? So that learner attitude will keep you updated and develop your full potential. Few months ago, some of us never thought that we'll know how to cook, or some of us never knew how we will be dealing with technology, how we'll be taking 1 hour on a technology. How can I speak for 1 hour? Students, how will I engage? I don't even know if somebody is sleeping. What will I do? All right. But now we are doing it. So when you have this learner alive in you, you will be able to do each and everything, and you'll be surprised by the potential that you carry. So what are the benefits of learning? Please mark this as an important question from the exam point of view. First thing, learning helps you to remain relevant. Had I stopped learning new words the day I graduated, I would have been outdated. Why? Because the research says that each year there are a few number of words, let's say 2000, 3000, 5000 words added to the English dictionary, the Oxford Dictionary, to be precise. Now, if I do not learn at least 100 new words in a year, in 5 or 7 years of time, I'm outdated. Are we still using Windows 5 or 6? No. We update our computers, right? Even the computer asks for an update. So it helps you remain relevant with the recent trends and new technologies in your field. Secondly, learning helps you to adapt to unexpected things. Right? Had we sat down in our home saying that, oh, it's a pandemic, we cannot go out, what will we do? We would have died. People die because they don't communicate. People die because they don't want to move ahead. If you sit at one place, what will happen? Or the government will come to my home and they will save me. We had to reach out. Right? One step if the government takes, one you have to take. Right? So prepare for the unexpected. When you are a continuous learner, you will prepare for the unexpected changes. When you are pushed out of your comfort zone, I know in the initial stages it will be a little uncomfortable, but you will adjust. Why? Let's say we all, when this pandemic came, we all thought of the other previous pandemics which human civilization has survived, right? We thought about it. Oh, they survived. If they did, how, why can't we in this more advanced technological world that we live? Next, it also boosts your profile. When you are updated with things, it will always add to your resume and your profile as well. It not only to the profile, but it will also add to your knowledge as well. Competence leads to confidence. You have a feeling of accomplishment when you know things. It helps to boost your confidence, and it helps you to develop readiness for taking up challenges. It helps to spark new ideas because you have been learning, so you have a new vision, a wider vision, a broader vision, and it also helps you find out innovative solutions. It helps to change one's perspective, and it helps you to pay it forward. But whenever you have learned something and you find your younger siblings in a problem, I'll take a personal example. What will you do? You'll say, okay, I did this, you don't do that, you do this. Right? You always take them, try to move forward with the learning you have, you pass it on. And this passing on information or passing on knowledge would help you lifelong learning. It would develop that habit of having a lifelong learning in your life. So how to learn something new every day? What should you do? Or tips for continuous learning is what you can expect from here. Have a habit of sparing some time for reading. Not only reading, but also discussing your ideas with other individuals. Explore the library. Here, not only library, I'll say explore different resources. We are now not limited to a library. That's why. Evaluate and reflect on what you have learned. And most importantly, apply what you have learned. Okay. If I have learned a recipe, how will I know whether I can make it or not if I don't cook it? If I have learned a code, how will I know whether it's the correct thing or will it give me the expected result until and unless I use it? Right? So, application part is very important. So, is the statement true or false? Continuous learning is an essential to the existence of human beings, like food, air, and clothing is an essential. Excellent, quick and correct answers. It's true. The next we have is listen. See, there are two words in English which we might have heard: hear and listen. Hear is something that happens automatically if you do not have any other defect, hearing problems, right? Listening is something that you do actively, and it is an inevitable part of good communication. It helps bring strong relationships, professional relationship. And listening not only includes you just voice or sound falling on your ears, but it also includes a response which would tell the speaker that you have understood or not. It takes determination and practice to become an excellent listener. Then we have got a record. It means we have done right all kind of business documents, the documentation. So it means to sustain whatever one encounters in writing is known as record. Good note keeping skills are required. You have to be very detailed when you write things. And why do we require good record keeping? We require good record keeping to reinforce the information for future reference. Why is good record keeping important? Please mark this as important question from the exam point of view. One, it helps one find, share, and reuse the required information. It retains trustworthy information. It helps one to take sound decision. You can go back to what has been recorded. It protects the individual and organization from various kinds of risks. Right? As I said, when you speak, words vanish in thin air. But when you write it down, it becomes a more concrete form of doing things. So is the statement true or false? Good record keeping skills are used when one needs to retain spoken information. You're absolutely correct. Want to retain written information, not spoken. Last verb for today is remember. Remember is actually a skill that you require to encode, decode, and retain information in your long term memory. Memorization is an important work skill and is a major advantage at professional level. Why? Because people with good memory are often seen as knowledgeable, smart, competent, and dependable. Basis of good memory is actually a healthy mind and a healthy body. So ways to improve memory. Please mark this as an important question from the exam point of view. First, eat well. Healthy food habits make a person's mind healthy. Usually, our parents would tell us you should eat almonds, you should eat walnuts that improves and sharpens your memory. You would have heard it, right? If your body is healthy, your mind is bound to become healthy because you don't have a disease in the body. You are not worried, so mind is worry free and becomes healthy. Next, you need to drink plenty of water. Water helps to retain hydration. Remember, our body is somewhere around 75 to 80%. There is water in the body, right? And water keeps your body and mind both fresh. Next, we should have enough sleep. Sleep is the time when your body is recharged. Rest makes your body more healthier and also helps you remember that you are a human, not a machine. Now, when your body rests, your brain is recharged, and when the brain is recharged, active, and healthy, it will help you improve your memory. Next, manage stress effectively. Now, stress is something which happens and it affects your brain directly. Memory is also directly linked with the brain. All right. So let me give a simple example over here. Remember when we prepare for our exams, when we are preparing for exams, sometimes the mind goes blank. You're like, I cannot recall anything. This word the teacher never taught. I never saw this question in my life. It's not in the syllabus. All right. Sometimes it happens. Why does such a thing happen? And then after a few minutes, you recall that, okay, this would be the answer. I have read this question. Because at that particular moment, you are in the stress of answering the question correctly. Or you are in a stress that this question will last for only 30 seconds. Or I have only 45 seconds to remember this question. Right, it has happened with almost all of us, all right, including me and you. So that's why it is said here that you should manage stress effectively. When you effectively manage and control your stress, when the brain is not stressed, it will help you it will help you recall information from your memory. Remember, people who are not stressed, for them things become little easy. Now when do we have stress? I'll tell you. when the very first or second question you are not able to answer properly. I'm talking about the exam time, which we can relate to easily because we all have been through the exam times. All right. So we can relate to it easily. All right. So what does happen in that case? If the first or the second question, or let's say in a sequence, three question you are not able to answer, you are like, my marks are gone. Now I will never pass this subject. I don't know anything, and you start stressing about things. And when you start stressing about things, things which are very simple also start or tend to become hard for you. You feel it is very hard. I never read this. Right? So if you are able to effectively manage stress, you would be able to manage your thoughts as well. When you manage your thoughts, your brain is stress free, you'll be able to recall information easily. Next, please remember this term, it is a technical term. Use mnemonics. Mnemonics are simple memory improving tools that help us to retain information, like remembering daily items. I think you would have played this game in school where they'll show you a bunch of items and then they'll give you 1 minute to note down as many as possible. Right? That's a memory improving tool that you can use, mnemonics. So is the statement true or false? Mnemonics are simple memory improving tools that helps one to connect to everyday, easy to remember items and retain information. Absolutely correct answer. Statement is true. With this, we complete today's session. Do we have any questions, queries? Great. Then we can move on to our quiz. Just give me a minute. I'll paste the quiz link. There you go. You have today's quiz link over here. You may start attempting your quiz now. Good to see most of you have completed your quiz. So we'll take the attendance now. Enrollment number 2. Attendance 2, 5, 8, 9, 10, 12, 16, 17, 19, 24, 25, 26, 29, 31, 34, 35, 38, 44, 46, 47, 49, 50, 51, 53, 54, 56, 58, 65, 67, 68, 69, 72, 73, 82, 85, 89, 91, 96, 100, 1, 101, 2, 3, 6, 8, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 25, 26, 31, 34, 44. I'll call out the absent numbers once so that if somebody has missed or I have missed, we may tally that. Enrollment number 9, 24, 46, 46 is present. 67, 96, 126, 1, 134, and 144. All right. Those who have told me, I already marked you present. Don't worry about that part. In case any work is pending, like book review or resume submission, kindly do it at the earliest. All right. Thank you, class. Have a nice day. Thank you.